See, I don't have hard work to do. I don't have to prep. I just sit here and I answer the questions.
You're very candid, though. Yeah, I mean,
I've been doing this for so long. Someone asks me a question, I answer them, and if I don't know the answer, you know what I do? Say I don't know the answer.
That's if only politicians felt the same way.
We will not talk about politics.
Yeah. We are here with Bobbi Brown, who of course launched the incredible Bobbi Brown line. I read that you said you already launched $1 billion beauty business, you didn't need to do it again, and yet here we are at Jones Road, a beautiful store in Williamsburg, and you have this new incredible line that is well on its way to a $1 billion valuation. So what made you decide to start another beauty company?
Well, you got to be careful what you wish for. So, when I left the first brand, I thought I was done in beauty and I was going to do other things, and then I just missed it. And I didn't feel done, and I had things to teach, and I had things in my head that I hadn't yet created. So here we are. October will be 4 years.
Wow. And it started, I believe, with a couple products that have really gone viral.
Right. We started with the Miracle Balms, a mascara, some Just a Sec. Let's see if I can remember what else. Sparkle Wash. So just a few things, and then people liked it. So we're like, okay, let's keep going.
It gained traction.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, when you launched your first line, it was a very different time. It was sort of a reaction to the over makeup, it seems like, that we saw in the 80s, and you had this really unique philosophy. How has your philosophy changed since then?
It's also very unique. I mean, I happen to think women look great without makeup, but they look really good with just the right kind of makeup for them. So the difference is, I don't like makeup that looks like makeup. When you're done, I just want you to look better. I want you to look not tired. I want you to look, pretty. I want you to have a glow, and I don't want an over made up face.
Yeah. Do you feel like your philosophy has evolved from the initial line now to Jones Road?
It's really funny. When I started the initial line, I had this philosophy, but like anyone that works in a corporation for 22 years, you change and you adapt and you do things because the markets want them or someone thinks you should do it. And so I'm a good soldier. I did all of that, and I'm not going to do it again.
Interesting. Okay, so
Yeah.
I can imagine you're working at a huge beauty behemoth that you're trying to make your bosses happy,
right,
to an extent.
And also I'm competitive. I want to do the right thing. So I get information, I hear the things that the customers want, and people want contour. I refused. I did not want to teach or promote contour.
Why?
That I refused, because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in contour. I think faces are beautiful as they are, and you enhance, and you don't try to change things. And if you're looking in the mirror and always thinking of what you could change, what are you going to look like when you're of a certain age? So, and I don't think it's a positive spin on confidence, and I believe in self-esteem and confidence.
Interesting. What are the products here that you have been able to launch that you don't think you would have if you were at a huge behemoth company?
Well, I think probably Miracle Balm wouldn't be launched, and it certainly wouldn't be launched in the simple packaging without a ton of marketing and fancy boxes. I don't think I would get permission to call a foundation WTF or what the foundation. I don't think teams would like Just a Sec. There's just, we don't spend a lot of time figuring out what something should be. We sit in a meeting, I maybe throw something out, someone else throws it out, someone says cool, someone checks if it's available, and it's done.
You trust your instincts with this line?
I trust my instincts, and I trust the people around me. Yeah, I trust my team. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, again, in the 90s, it was obviously very different. Now it feels like the space is so saturated. In particular, you have celebrities, Selena Gomez, Hailey Bieber, all launching these lines. How do you compete and differentiate yourself when it feels like every day there's another Instagram personality who has a new product?
You just be yourself, you be authentic, do what you believe, and hopefully what you do and what you believe is different than everyone else. It's not people doing things because someone else did it. It's doing what you think is best. And I didn't invent makeup, I just reinvent it, right? Here it is. I think I could probably reinvent a few other categories, but I'm not going to. I know I can make a good bra and really comfortable high heels, but I'm not going in that business.
I think the world might need you to go into that business.
No, I like the business I'm in. This is my passion.
Okay, so no contour.
No contour.
What are your other no ways in makeup?
You know, I don't like traditional foundation, powder, concealer. I think it makes people look older, it makes them look cakey. I don't like it. So I don't like a lip liner that's lined outside of someone's lips. Call me crazy. You know, I don't like lip colors that drag you down or wash you out. A nude lipstick should look like your lips, not like you put a foundation on your lips.
Sounds like you're describing the Kardashians.
I'm not describing anyone, and also I love blush, and the best color blush is when you pinch your cheek. Oh, guess what? We have a miracle balm called Pinch Cheeks, because that's what it looks like.
I've actually always thought, I love the names of products. Like I always
Yeah.
thought growing up, I'm like, I want to be that person who names nail polishes. Or, you know, you've done
This
obviously
is
a
our
great job.
polish. It's called
Okay.
It's called Poppy. It could have been red, but it's called Poppy.
Okay. And you also, I understand, went to school to become a certified health coach.
Yes.
After you left your initial line.
Yeah.
How has that informed your approach to Jones Road?
Well, I've always been a health fanatic and someone who grew up in beauty where everyone was so focused on how to look better. I realized that I looked my best when I felt better. And so I was always trying to figure out what I could do in my busy life and schedule, how at the end of the day I could have energy to come home. You know, I worked 2 jobs. I came home, I had kids. I had a husband, I had a house, I had those things. So I needed energy when I came home. And I discovered that if I ate bagels and pasta and sugar, I'm not gonna feel good, and guess what, I'm not gonna look good. So I wanted to learn more about it. And I think I was more strict with myself before I went to school. I would always be like, oh, I'm this, I'm paleo, I'm this. And after I graduated from IIN, I realized, no, I do intuitive eating. If I'm not gluten-free, but if I start to feel a little sluggish and have headaches, I'm like, oh, I've been eating too much bread. So that's my approach kind of to everything right now.
And also, I assume what you put in your products as well.
Well, it's a clean brand. And when I started this brand, I didn't say I really want to have a clean brand because I'm a health fanatic. I just said, how do you not create products and have them clean, you know, in the year that I started this brand. So I want to be known as someone that makes really beautiful products that women can use, make them look so much better. I don't need to promote it being clean, it just happens to be.
That's interesting. Yeah, and it seems like in America, you know, we have a lot of regulation, but not a lot of regulation in the beauty industry. And you look at a lot of products that are sold here and popular here are banned in some cases
Right.
in Europe. Do you think the regulation or the way that we think about products here in the US should change?
I mean, I think that I don't know exactly what I think on that. No, because I also think that vitamins are not regulated.
Yeah.
Like in the US, they're not. So you think you're taking something, but you don't know. So food is better for vitamins. Do I take vitamins? I take some, I do. But yeah, they're not regulated, and makeup might not be either. So, you know, I believe, you know, in putting the best quality food in my body. I don't like things that are processed. I don't even like health food that's processed. I like things that grow out of the ground when possible. And, you know, when possible, organic. And guess what? I eat out with my kids and their wives, and I'm not eating organic when I go out, and it's okay. I'm not gonna let that bother me. I'm gonna focus more on, you know, the positive social aspect.
So for consumers, it's more just to be aware of the products that you're buying and the products that you're putting on your face and in your body.
Yes.
You have a really interesting start to your career as well. I understand you were going through yellow pages. You were truly pounding the pavement. Tell us a little bit more about how you launched this first line, became a makeup artist, and got to where you are.
Well, there was no playbook, right? There was no, oh, you could be a freelance makeup artist, and this is what you do. These are the steps. So when I started, I knew I wanted to do makeup. I thought I wanted to do movies. I thought I wanted to do film. I did one film, and it was so boring. Doing makeup on a film is probably the most boring job alive. And I said, I don't want to do that anymore. And so I said, well, let me just go to New York and try to work in the magazines, because I thought that looked so fun and exciting. How do you do that? I don't know. I didn't know anyone. So I there was no Google, there was no Instagram, there was not even, I don't even think there were, computers back then. And I know I sound like I was born in the dark ages.
It wasn't that long ago that we didn't have Instagram or any of these things. This is a very recent phenomenon.
But I opened up the Yellow Pages because I'm like, all right, what do I look for? Oh, I look for models, modeling agencies, makeup artists, I look up makeup, and I just started making phone calls. And then I went to the magazine store and opened up my favorite magazines and looked at the mastheads. I'm like, oh, someone's job must be to hire me. Who is it? And I saw a model booker, I saw whatever it was, and I started calling people and going to see them. So that's my beginnings.
And you've written 9 books, you're on Substack.
And I don't know how to type.
What?
Yeah, my mother let me drop out of typing. She said, you'll probably never be a secretary. She was right. But I don't know how to type. And so if I type anyone an email and I misspell things or I speak in sentences, sometimes I read.
Wait, when you say you don't know how to type, does that mean you're like
individually? I do it with one finger. I do it with one finger.
My old boss did that. He wrote 6 books.
Yeah, but guess what? Now I could press the microphone and I do it. And
then the beauty of technology.
Yeah, and then I print it out and I take a pen and I make corrections. Then I take a photo of it and I send it to someone to edit. That's my process.
Fascinating.
Because, you might not know things, but there's a way that everyone has the ability to figure things out. Whatever you need to figure out, it's out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that you're creating a Substack and writing books, do you think that's an important way of connecting with your audience? Or how do you think about, using your voice to connect with consumers?
Well, for me, writing the books has always been a way of telling the story. I guess I've always been a storyteller, so I love explaining how and why and where, and I'm curious about everyone in this room, like where you're from, what did you do, how did you get here, how did you get this job? Everyone's got a story. My grandparents had a story when they came to this country. So I'm very curious, and I also like to teach and empower people how things could be done. So the books were just a great way for me to communicate, and I used to get really frustrated that the magazines, when I would do a shoot, they would choose the photos, and I would be like, there's better photos than this. So when I did my own books, guess what? I'm in charge. And right now, when I do a Substack, I'm in charge. Anything that's up there, it's because I wanted it up there.
You get to do the whole soup to nuts process.
It's a full-on, it's me and my assistant, Gianna, who I just had her write a Substack, how she got the job. And a lot of people are saying, oh, we sent it to our kids, so they know how to get a job.
I feel like there's a lot of kids out there who could probably use that advice. Yeah. So when you started this company, though, I understand it was your own money. What other things were you able to do because you had control over, as you were talking about, not just the photos, but the entire soup to nuts process?
Right. Well, it was the middle of the pandemic, so it really gave an opportunity. We didn't know it was an opportunity at the time, but I look at something as an opportunity, not as a problem. And it was an opportunity to do things differently. When I launched, I didn't have a big launch party, so I didn't waste money. We sent things to people. I had to wait till it launched because I had a non-compete that wasn't up yet. I launched this company the day my non-compete for my old company was done, and then we just went on Instagram. There was something on the Today Show and Elvis Duran, and it was a week before the presidential elections, and then we just started sending boxes to people that we reached out to and said, they're not in the office, right? Where are you? Do you want to get a box? And that's how we started.
Wow.
Simple. Wow. Yeah.
Not easy, though.
Tell me one thing that is easy in life, right? Like, tell me something that's easy. Nothing's easy.
And you're still direct to consumer. No one can buy any of this on Sephora.
No.
Do you want it to stay that way?
As long as possible, yes. There's no reason for us not to be. Like, we're in one retail door, and that's in the UK. Liberty, because we're not there, so it'd be really hard to have, an independent presence. We will eventually have a store there, and that'll probably be our only store. And now we have 6 of our own stores, 7th coming, and a few more. But we're around 90 to 92% direct to consumer, 90 to 95, depending who does the math.
Looking at the models, the looks, are you choosing all of it? The makeup palette, who models, every detail?
Not only do I do those things, I do makeup for the shoot. I choose the pictures, I edit them, I choose them, and I work really closely with my creative director to crop them, what we're using. Yeah, I'm pretty involved with anything I care about that I'm good at. I'm probably involved in some things I'm not good at, but I don't get involved in things that I don't care about in the company. I just make sure I have the right people that are good at it.
And was it the same way when you were at Bobbi Brown, the line?
Well, in the beginning, sure.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was, the chief creative officer. That was my title while I was there. And I was involved with everything that mattered. And, the beginning. And towards the end, you get involved in less and less for different reasons.
But now you get to be involved in everything.
I'm involved in things I want to be involved in, which is most of the things. Not HR, kind of HR, but I don't want to do it. I just want to know about it.
You don't want to onboard people and give them their passwords?
No, but I want to know what is being onboarded and how they're being onboarded. Yes,
Yeah.
I do want to know that.
Yeah. Where do you think the beauty industry is evolving to go? Because on the one hand, and I think you were so instrumental in this, the sort of the no makeup look has gained really a lot of popularity. And at the same time, you're seeing, it feels like there's never been more filler and buccal fat reduction and all of these procedures to make people look a certain way. Where do you think the trends and the evolution of beauty is going to be in 5 years?
I think just like our world is like kind of a little bit of everything, and you get to choose which way you want to go. It's the same with the beauty industry. There are still major contour brands and major, filler brands, and that's part of it. But there's also other options. There's brands you can go to where you don't like that look. So that's what I would choose. And I didn't have a brand like Jones Road when I wasn't part of making one. There wasn't one I went to that said this feels like me. But I'm really glad that I got to create this because, I don't know, I just love it. It makes me feel good. I love looking. I worked on every single face in this and every single product and we just do things differently. Our package is stock, right? Like it's stock. Our prices are really affordable. Our products last a long time. They work really well. It's not innovation, that's just what it should be.
Interesting. If you hadn't started Bobbi Brown and you were just starting a company now, how do you think you would be running your business or thinking of beauty products?
Exact same as I'm doing it now. The only challenge I have is I didn't expect Jones Road to grow so fast and be so big. So now, luckily, I've had such major experience working for a big, company. So now I see the things and how they can be fixed or tightened up. But the difference is I have less people to do it, and so I have to, teach the people around me how to do things tighter.
It seems like the way you speak about your lines, it's all products that you're really excited about.
Wait, why would I put something out I'm not excited about? Everything, I have to love everything or I will be embarrassed of it.
That's a good philosophy.
But it's the truth. Yeah, and if I don't like something, I'm this person, I come in, I'm like, there's a white mark under her neck. I noticed it the second. Did you guys ever notice it? No. I noticed like this weird stuff. And now I'm gonna be focused on it until I tell Erin to bring another picture. I'm just like, that's just where my mind is. I'm like, oh, I think that Jones Road poster could be bigger. I think there's room on the wall. And so this is how I'm getting things done. I'm telling the camera, so Erin, if I forget to tell her, she'll see it online and say, oh, let me get a picture.
But it seems like that's what it takes.
Honestly, that's what it takes. I think anyone that has a business knows that. I just talked to a friend of a friend who has a rib company, a barbecue brand, and we had so many similarities because he sees all that stuff that has to be done. And yes, other people are not seeing what he sees. And you know, he's like, it's so hard. I'm like, yeah, it's hard. Yes, it's hard.
And the details that aren't sexy
Right.
or exciting,
But
but are visual cues.
They make
to the
the
rest of the
difference. Details make the difference. They do.
I'm glad that you like all the products.
Yeah.
Certainly, it seems like I know the balm went viral. In the other line we were talking about,
Yeah.
you know, in a meeting, we all had this long-wear gel eyeliner. It seems like we didn't really have the term viral back then.
Right.
But we would call it viral today.
Yeah.
Do you think about what products can go viral when you create a marketing plan or when you're developing new products?
I think a lot of companies have that discussion. I think it's a waste of time because you have no idea what's going to be a hero product. I mean, companies have meetings called hero products, and they bring people in like, all right, we need to create a hero product. Just put your best product out there, and hopefully people will love it so much that it will be a hero product. I mean, our What the Foundation went viral, and it could have been a disaster. It's because an influencer on TikTok misused it and trashed it, and it went viral. And it ended up, like at first I thought it was going to be a disaster. It ended up to create a positive spin, and people called me, they said, oh, Bobbi, clap back at this person, and we quadrupled our sales. So you just don't know. We didn't plan that. We didn't talk about it. It just happened.
But you did have the confidence to trust your gut and trust that what you were offering was...
I felt good about it, and for a minute I was like, oh, yikes, you know, is there a problem? And then I realized the person wasn't using it correctly. So I went and did a bunch of social telling people how to do it. No, actually, if you like full foundation, you know, I remember, I didn't say flat and cakey, but if you like full coverage, flat foundation, you're not gonna like this. And if you like more natural skin foundation, this is how you use it, one bit. So, you know, and look, what was the worst that happened? People either said, no, I still don't like it. And I'm sure some people don't like it, but a lot of people love it. It's our second top selling product.
It seems like you've adapted to social media very readily, very easily. You talked directly to people. Did that just come naturally for you?
Yes. I mean, I started the Instagram when I was at Bobbi Brown. I did it, I started it, no one even knew what it was. I just did it. And then I had a blog at Bobbi before anyone had blogs. And I just, yeah, I tried things. I mean, I jumped on Substack. I don't know if it was 3 or 6 months ago. And it was like, why? My friend called me up and she said, why do you have to do this? I said, I don't have to do this. I want to do this. So, yeah, and if it doesn't work, I don't do it anymore.
What's the best piece of advice you got as an entrepreneur?
I mean, really, it was from Leonard Lauder early on in my career, where he said, I once built a freestanding store and didn't ask permission. And I called him to come look at it, and he said, he said, always beg forgiveness and don't ask for permission. Because it wouldn't have happened. If I asked for permission, I wouldn't have gotten it.
You have to be fearless.
You kind of have to be fearless. Yeah, you do. You know, and look, trust me, you don't think I get angst and anxious over things. Like, you know, of course I do. But it's like, all right, if it didn't work, that didn't work.
What do you think about beauty influencers, bloggers, that whole industry? It seems like it's sort of disrupted the conventional way of doing things. Obviously, it's not just magazine editors. It's sort of democratized the way beauty is.
You know,
discovered.
I'm smart enough to know that things change. Nothing stays the same. You know, like, and there's always newness. I remember the first time when at Fashion Week, where my team said, "There's this woman coming in from Wisconsin. She's a big blogger," and I was like, I was used to Vogue coming in and, you know, the New York Times, and all of a sudden I've got whoever this lady is from Wisconsin. And guess what? She sold more products than Vogue or the New York Times, so things changed. Things changed. And you know what? I remember her. She was a really nice person, and it was a pleasure to talk to a nice person.
And I've also heard you don't believe in Botox.
Can you tell? You know, it's not that I don't believe in it. I don't do it. I don't want to do it, and if there was a magic wand that could do it, I would do it, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm a fan of other things, not fillers. I'm a
Okay.
fan of laser and, this thing called soft wave, which hurts a lot, but it helps tighten things. And, I'll do anything I can to look and feel better without altering the way I look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
And
sense.
what's wrong with getting older? By the way, I'm really thrilled and happy I'm getting older.
I love that. But it seems like you also were one of the first people to really target women over 50.
Right, and I think
Like
I was
makeup.
maybe 40 at the time, I had my third kid at 41. So I've not really followed all the rules, but I guess you could say I've always been inclusive, not only of age, but of skin color, of everything, because that's what our world is.
And it seems like you're having a lot of fun doing
I am
this.
having a lot of fun. I'm really happy, I'm really happy. I mean, trust me, you want to turn the camera off and I'll tell you the 10 or 20 things that are driving me out of my mind, but
You can tell us the
Yeah.
10 or 20 things
I'm
now.
not telling
We don't-
everybody. No, it's just part of work and business and life, and it's like there's always things that you think could be better, and I think they should be better. But I've learned enough to know that I need to just calm down and just figure out how to get them better.
Are there things that you think you learned from Bobbi Brown?
Oh my
that
God,
you were
so
like,
much.
I am never going to do that again. You had certain lessons that you took away and you didn't repeat with Jones Road.
Number one, I should let someone finish talking before I answer. I've heard that from my family for years. But yes, there are things, that I learned that are invaluable that I still do today. And there's a lot of things that I learned that is not worth doing, a waste of time, energy, and money, and too many layers. But
Like what?
oh my God, like decision making. How long it takes to make a decision, and how many people involved, and how many consultants are consulted and hired and spent, and all of those things, and then nothing changes. That happened a lot.
So it's important to be your own decision maker.
It is. And now the hard part is, how do you be small? How do you be large and scrappy? Like we've been small and scrappy. How do you be large and scrappy? That's a challenge. So I'll get back to you on that.
Do you think it's possible?
I do think it's possible. If I'm involved, it's possible, yeah.
Where do you want this line to be in 5 years?
I want it to be, if I have to visualize where it's going to be, they'll probably be different, rocks holding up the products, I don't know. I want it to still say true to what it is. And you can always tell when a big company comes in and buys a smaller brand, because things that are normally like rocks and stone become plastic very quickly, or paper. And I just really want to keep it true to what it is.
Well, given that, would you sell this line?
I'm not looking to sell. Will it one day? Sure. Have we had offers? Yes. I am not looking because what am I going to do, right? What am I going to do if I sell? Yeah.
You're doing it because you love it.
I do it because I love it, yeah.
You're a lifelong New Yorker.
I am
Right?
originally from Chicago.
Okay.
Originally from Chicago. I live in Montclair, New Jersey. I raised my kids there. I'm actually in the New Jersey Hall of Fame. I lived in Montclair, and I lived in New York City for many years.
Yeah.
But I moved out of the city when I got married, before I had kids and a dog, and so I love how close we are to the city, so I have both. My office was always in Soho, and now we have 2 stores in the city, so I get to...
It's been your center of gravity.
It is. I think New York is such a great place, but it is also such a great place to get out of.
I don't just, yeah, Anthony's laughing. He lives in New Jersey.
Where do you live?
I live in Monmouth County.
Okay.
I lived in Maplewood for 6 years.
Okay.
And my wife does real estate in Montclair.
Ah,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
And you live in Monmouth now, that's far.
yeah, we both grew up down there.
Oh, you
yeah,
did?
I'm down by the Shrike the bus.
Okay. Ah,
Down by the beach.
yeah, nice.
It is a nice place with a dog. But you decided to stay close to New York. What is
Right.
it about New York that
New York,
exciting to you?
New York is fun. The restaurants are amazing, and I can't wait to go to the comedy show in November.
What's the comedy show?
Oh my
in November?
God! You don't know the comedy show? There's a couple weeks of it's a comedy festival, And I've already gotten tickets for a few people, and I'm
Okay.
excited. You know, you probably
Okay.
don't remember Caroline's Comedy Club. Yeah, Caroline is a friend, and she had this amazing comedy club. I mean, she discovered Jerry Seinfeld and all
my
these other people.
God.
No, she's amazing. And they have a comedy festival for a couple weeks. So, you know, I guess there's a Montclair film festival, but there's no comedy festival yet.
Yet.
Yes.
Maybe that's your next thing.
Oh no,
After.
I'm not that funny.
I think you have a great sense of humor. Anything else about New York? Do you feel it inspires you? Do you feel it's important to be here as somebody in the beauty industry?
Well, especially in Brooklyn. Two of my 3 sons live in Brooklyn, and they just always get the most amazing, like, cool food and things that you don't have in New Jersey. You know, someone just launched a cottage cheese ice cream. You can't. It's like it's in. Yeah, but you can't. No, but in Brooklyn, but not Williamsburg.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm like, yeah.
Well, why Williamsburg? Why have a store in Williamsburg?
I mean, why not? It's cool. We have a cool shirt. Where did I saw it? Yeah, there it is. Cool shirt. Williamsburg is cool. And we will open a second Brooklyn store in Cobble Hill
Okay.
by the end of this year, hopefully.
How important was New York to your career overall?
I mean, you move to New York, you make it. It's kind of hard to be a successful makeup artist in Poughkeepsie. I don't think I've ever been to Poughkeepsie, but yeah.
It's way at the end of the train. I actually
Okay.
stayed at like a monastery there.
Okay,
And
nice.
if you were starting out now, what would you do?
Well, I don't think I would have to get the yellow pages. I could probably Google or ask AI or something. I would go back into beauty. You know, I would be a makeup artist. You know, my favorite thing I've ever done is being on set. Like I'm not a makeup artist that loves to travel with celebrities to get them ready for events. That's not me. But being in a photo studio with some of the most creative photographers and stylists and models, like that's my jam. So I get to do it. I have a photo studio in Montclair called 18 Label that my husband and I developed. I have a hotel there too
Yes.
called the George. So I could kind of bring the Brooklyn vibe to Montclair,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah. Who are your favorite people you've worked with?
I mean, over the years, there's been so many. I mean, whether it's, Serena Miller or Michelle Obama. I've even done Bruce Springsteen's makeup. So many, I mean, every supermodel you could name. So, yeah.
Any great pearls of wisdom they've bestowed on you?
Patty, Bruce's wife, told me I better go buy a YSL jacket and stop messing around with all the mid-level ones. So she said, just you'll never get rid of it. It'll be in your closet forever. And it still is. Patty was right.
Oh, that's so funny. Anything else? I think we got everything.